Hello everyone, this is your boy Yobiraion and today we're playing Green Dawn. So I just bought this game and I'm new to this game actually. This is my first character. I made the Witchblade and I just finished the elite difficulty and I like the ultimate difficulty. So let's get into it and I wanna show you today what kind of preparations I made for ultimate difficulty, because I've heard that the difficulty in ultimate scales up by a lot. So when I finished the elite, actually I didn't have any problems either in elite or veteran. I kinda phase rolled through everything with a physical two-handed Witchblade. And I thought my resistance and everything was all over the place, and I thought maybe maybe it's time to optimize my build based on my items, because I realized in Grim Dawn the items are like super important and they can actually dictate what kind of abilities you're gonna be using and how you're gonna be playing your build until you find different items or you wanna do something else with your character. So looking at my items, I had these legendary boots that give me a lot of chaos percentage damage, and they give me a shield, and I had this legendary ring that gives me again a lot of chaos damage and chance on attack to get chaos damage on my opponents, and I had these legendary legs that also give me a chaos nova chance when I'm getting hit by enemies, and my chest, which is also pretty decent, gives me chaos damage, and then my weapon, which was a decent weapon. I mean, it's yellow but it's decent in damage, actually gives me flat chaos damage and conversion to chaos damage. So I was like, okay, we'll have to switch from physical to chaos, at least for now. Also my belt gives me +1 to soldier and +1 from my relic. So I was like, okay, what can we do with that? We know we have to go chaos, and we know that we have +2 in soldier. So for now, since I don't have many skill points to invest, I should try to, not go over the soft cap wherever I can to save as many points as possible. And this is what I did, for example, with fighting form. I only put 10 points to get to the soft cap with +2 from my items. And I did the same with a deadly momentum, and I did the same with decorated soldier, and I did the same with squad tactics. And I just let cadence go way over the soft cap because it's my main attack and it's a super important ability. It's what my build is based on, basically. And then I invested some 1-pointers. With the +2 they become really great, like in Fighting Spirit, in Menhir's Will, in Veterancy. Now I wanted to get this one higher because it's a really good buff, and I really need the offensive and defensive ability and the armor increase. But for now I had to save points, as I said, so I'm gonna be investing in this later. I had to put the rest of the points in Occultist, where I wanted to get to Possession as soon as possible. And I only managed, as you can see, I managed to get 2 points for now. So as we progress, I'm gonna be investing points in the Possession to get that juicy flat chaos damage, damage absorption, percentage chaos damage, etc. I put 1 point in Doombolt because it actually gives me a lot of damage. It's an AoE reduction to enemy health. I'm in campaign, so that's gonna be useful. It's low energy cost and it's just 6 second cooldown, and 3 points in Consecrated Blade. Those 3 points are gonna go away as soon as I find items that convert all of my physical to chaos, but for now I think I need it. And that's how I changed my points to optimize my build towards the chaos. And actually my modifiers changed by a lot. I had like 850 here and now I only have 630, but my chaos modifier went up by a lot. I'm pretty happy with this number here. And actually I ended up doing more DPS. I know that DPS in this game doesn't mean that much. You mostly want to look at these numbers over here, damage per hit, but in the case of a Witchblade it's actually relevant to look at the DPS, because you're not using spells, you're using attack abilities. If I was using spells, I wouldn't be looking at this number, I would just be looking probably here. That's how I think it works, I might be wrong. But anyway, I also end up with more offensive ability and more defensive ability. And the next thing I wanted to do was to get my life up. I wanted to get to 10k, but I overdid a bit. I put many points in physique, but I'm thinking I should have put some points in spirit to get some more of this juicy chaos damage, because I actually think it's like 100 DPS whenever I put a point here. Yes, it's something like that. And of course you have to look at your resistances. As I said, my resistances were all over the place, and I wanted to optimize them, so I didn't really have, fortunately I didn't have to put much work in to get it revered in many factions, but that helped me a lot to get these powders and try to fix my resistances. Now I think I'm ready for ultimate, but they're not optimal. I want to get my piercing a little bit higher, and I want to get my bleeding a little bit higher because it's super low. My vitality is overcapped, but my items, all of them give vitality resistance, so for now I cannot do really anything about this. Ether damage is not that important, the ether resistance. There are only like certain mobs in the game that need ether resistance. But I still put this augment over here from the outcast to give me 10% ether resistance. I might be changing that though to get a little bit of more elemental resistance or piercing resistance. Like this one, for example, fire and pierce. I think it's gonna be more beneficial for now, but I'm gonna see about this. And I also have some items in order I need to play around with my resistance a little bit. So I have these gloves here that gives me chaos and piercing, but for now I don't want to lose the bleeding resistance. We're gonna see. If I feel like I really need to switch my resistance around, I'm gonna keep these gloves for now. So you have to look at your resistances. As you may know, when you get to ultimate, the resistances in the first row go minus 50 compared to normal, and the second row goes minus 25 compared to normal. So you wanna have an augment on each and every slot, and in some cases you wanna have components. So I'm gonna talk about components next. Here, for example, I used a silk swatch because I really need this piercing and bleeding resistance. I didn't want to go for DPS, I didn't want to go for armor or anything. I just needed my bleeding resistance for now. I don't want to be minus, it's gonna be horrible. Then for my two-hander I went with the Riftstone for now. I think there is another one that gives more chaos percentage damage, but I needed the Chaos Strike because I didn't want to invest any points in Blitz for now, and I want a gap closer and an ability that can get me out of trouble sometimes. Here I still have the Chains of Oleron, let's say just because I'm a little bit cheap and I didn't want to get rid of Oleron. I think I only have one or two more. But otherwise I would put Hallowed Grounds, I think it's called, which I think it's a better option to put Hallowed Ground because it gives you defensive ability, percentage defensive ability, 12% to all elemental resistances, and it gives you also some health regen, yes. Here I use the Ancient Armor Plate. Maybe there is a better option, but I don't know, I might check this later again. For my belt, some poison resistance and health regen. The jawbone for my medal, I guess this is like, usually people go for that if they play a spec like mine. This is pretty basic, like Mark of Mogdrogen and Consecrated Wrappings. For my rings I just trade for Corpse Dust because I really want the health and health regen. Actually, when you play Witchblade, your build is gonna be heavily focused on health regen, and I'm pretty happy about my health regen. I think my health regen went, before I make any changes, it was 410 and now it is 525 almost. And last but not least, here I put a black tallow for the chaos damage defensive. I think it's pretty good overall. Oh, and we also have this one, plus 5% health. Yeah. And what else? Maybe we could talk about devotions, but I still don't have the expansion. So I'm going with the vanilla ones. Those are my picks for now. And I'm building towards the Abomination. Now, Abomination is great for campaign. I know it's not great for a crucible mode, and it's not great for shards because you actually need things to die before it activates. But let's focus on the campaign clear first. This is the most important for us. And when we get to the end game where we can farm items and we, you know, maybe we have the expansions by that time, and we can, you know, like optimize even further, then we can rethink about our devotions. So I think that's it for now. Also make sure that you are above level 70 when you go into Ultimate. I mean, you can be lower, but you're not going to be able to wear many of those level 70 items. As you can see, some of my items, many of them actually are level 70. And I think when you reach level 70, you also get greater chance to get some legendaries, but I'm not sure about this actually. It's just something I've heard a couple of days ago, but some gurus might tell you better. So that's it for now. Please leave a comment if you wanna give me some suggestions, some advice or some feedback, and leave a thumbs up if you like the video and you wanna see more, or some gameplay maybe. That's it for now. Have a nice day and see you next time.